Okay, good evening, class. I will be presenting today a Native American. She was a singer, and I'll be presenting her today and just showing you a little bit about her lifestyle, where she came from, her upbringing, her successes, and some of her failures and things she went through to become who she was today. So this is Ronnie Spector. This is the trio group. She started off as a trio group called the Ronettes, with her and her cousins. Well, in on August 10th, 1943, in East Harlem, also popularly known as Spanish Harlem, is where soon-to-be pop singer Veronica Bennett was born. That was her name before the name Ronnie Spector she had got. Later in the presentation, I'll let you know why her name is Ronnie Spector, but her birth name is that. So, her love for singing was seen in her actions as she would rush home every day from school to sing to her cousins, aunts, uncles, as she prepared for her showbiz career by singing along with records such as the Chantels, Little Anthony, and her greatest influence, Frankie Lymon. So pretty much, a little fun fact for myself, I'm also I'm into music, I grew up listening to music and things like that. So I can really relate to this slide right here when she said she rushed home every day to her cousins and stuff and sing. So that made me want to just research a little more also, because I could connect there a little bit. I used to do some of the same things, except for I didn't sing. So this was one of her most famous hits, Be My Baby, right here. And later, after the slides are done, I'll let you guys listen to it. Maybe if you want to sing along to it. Anybody want to do a little dancing to it, I'll show you all. Okay. So on the search for that, they were able to find an opportunity and schedule an audition for Phil Spector, considered the greatest record producer in his era. Phil Spector, he was one of the greatest. He was one of the greatest producers. And they were looking for a deal because at first they weren't really, known, and they were trying to really get on and show, become big time, and really sing and take their career to the next level. So they were able to do that, and they signed with Phil Spector. So this was Veronica when she started making music with the guy Phil Spector, which was going to be soon to be her husband. His name is Phil Spector. So, long story short, she signed a deal with Phil Spector. She had got with Phil Spector, and I believe they were married, and they adopted 2 twins. And that's how she came up with the name Ronnie Spector, because she married Phil Spector, the producer who had signed her. This was a picture of Phil Spector here. He's considered one of the greatest producers. Here he goes here. You're about to see it. Little story before I get into this. This was a mugshot of Phil Spector. He was charged due to psychopathic acts and unethical ways. So long story short, a little bit about what happened there in the relationship. Everything was going fine. She signed a deal. Everything was going great. It seemed like a life-changing moment, a dream come true, until she realized who the real Phil Spector was. And they got into so many different things where he would, they had a big mansion together. And sometimes he would lock her in the basement, sometimes lock her in the room, lock her there, just tell her that she couldn't go anywhere. Because I feel like he felt like he had a lot of money that he could just do anything and treat her any type of way. So she was in a very toxic situation, and this is something that she had to overcome, and this is something that not too many people knew about in the world. So this is what was going on at home with herself. Okay, so after that had happened, she had decided that enough was enough, and when she did make it her decision to move on to get a better life, she literally ran out of the mansion with nothing but just a t-shirt on and no shoes. Like literally, she just ran. She just told herself that enough was enough. No money could amount to who I am as a person, and my mental health, and my physical health, and my spiritual health. So she just told herself that she was no longer going to be there with Phil Spector. So she filed for a divorce. In that same act, she wanted to leave him. So that meant since she has signed to the producer, they had legal obligations together with the music. But he wanted to gain the full rights of her music, so he still wanted to take control over her life in that type of aspect, instead of just leaving it alone, letting her living a positive life. So shortly after after she won the legal cases to gain the full rights to music, this is one of the quotes here, and it says, "But I really don't like to discuss Phil anymore." Really, that just simply just means she just doesn't want to talk about her past anymore. She's moved on, she's got a new husband, and she wants to move on with life. So it was a lot of publicity with that in the music industry. This is kind of what the lavish lifestyle looked like. You know, she was coming from Spanish Harlem, really wasn't the biggest city or town, you know. This is the lifestyle that she was living. I'm sure a lot of us dream of living in some type of house like this, but, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sure many of us dream of living in a house like that and things like that. But there's things that go behind that, which she went through and she got herself out of. This is also some of the most recent pictures of him here, and you all can pretty much see how he looks now. And earlier I showed you a picture of how he looked, and just look at him now. This is Phil Spector now, and after everything. So he lost everything, and she was able to gain full rights of her music, remarry, get her life back together, and continue to make hits. And she's still living today, and she's living a happy life, just separated from Phil Spector. So that was just a lesson learned for her and for Ron Spector.